and what it is that she would do in sort of conveying this whole journey through her reactions and what she discovers through the film. But it was definitely, nobody associated with the production, including all the producers and the financiers, had ever made a film like this. And so when the script came in at 60 pages, they said, okay, you guys are signing a document that warns it will be feature length. So Chris and I signed it.
Well, here's the thing. The way every single movie ever is made is you go out and you get coverage, you get close-ups, you get wide shots, you do moving shots, you do all that stuff. In production, you get all those shots, you go back to the editing room, and that's where the movie's made. You can make all those choices in the cutting room. And you can decide exactly, you can choose the pacing, decide the best take of the actor. So when you're working with an actor on set in a normal movie, you could say, well, that was kind of cool, let's try it in a different way, or you're feeling some other kind of emotion. And then as far as controlling and revealing information, in a normal movie, all this is controlled by editing. So the daunting challenge to this, which is the main thing that excited us about taking on this project, is that suddenly all the tools of filmmaking are suddenly gone. They're taken away. You don't have editing anymore. And so now you have to do this in a whole new kind of way. You have to do it on location, you have to make all these choices, and you have to live with them. And it's the same with the performance. We can't go back and fix it to cutting. And that was exciting.
And any director wants to get rid of the editor at some point, don't they? That's a plus. They can't screw it up.
Well, Chris is an editor, so.
Well, I'm curious about this thing that you said that you didn't have the house. And sometimes people talk about how, oh, the city is like a character. But here the house really is a character in the film. Not knowing the location, how did you proceed, or how did it change once you found that place in New Rochelle?
Well, we knew that the house was not only going to be the site where all the action would take place, but that it was absolutely a character in the film. In fact, the house is Sarah. And so we needed a house that would not only have history and have personality, but that would meet our technical needs. And because we were shooting really, really, really long shots, without cutting 360 degrees, the only place to hide lights was in the ceiling. So we needed really high ceilings, and it's not easy to find an old house on the East Coast with high ceilings. And we wanted to go from inside to outside, from outside to inside without cutting, which meant that we needed a location that could appear at least to be isolated. So we actually got very lucky because we ended up finding a location 20 minutes from Manhattan after we were already like 2 hours out and even considering going out of state. Because once you start traveling crew, it really raises your production costs. So we got very, very fortunate with this house.
And did it match your vision of the film, Chris? Did you always see the house like that? Or was it...
Well, Laura had the vision of the film. She wrote the script, but it exceeded anything we dared hope for because we had a very low budget. And you don't really, when you have a low budget, you don't write a house on a lake because the odds of getting that are very low. So having the house on the water and having it multi-levels and having, all this fun stuff to play with was certainly something we were excited about. And Laura was able to go back in. What we did as soon as we had the location in the first draft of the script, because it was so complicated and so difficult to figure out, is just Laura and I went night after night after night, day after day. Just Laura would play Sarah, and I'd have a camera and would follow and start working out the choreography before we brought the crew on. And of course, that was all we find once we had our cinematographer and the cast.
So when did you break the news to Laura that Elizabeth Olsen would have the part and she wouldn't?
I think Laura was happy to let that go. Here you can speak on Lizzie. She's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we had casting directors who had cast Jennifer Lawrence in Winter's Bone the year before, and we had been working with them on several other projects. And so as soon as the script was done, we gave them the script, and they said, who needs to play this role. And we thought it was going to be hard to find our lead because we knew that the whole film would rest on her shoulders, that you needed a character who could carry this film, who you would care about, who you would root for, and who you would want to watch, but who also had the craft to be able to carry the film off because, we were actually looking for people with theater background because you would have these long, long, long takes, and she would need the stamina and the concentration and the ability to bring her performance all the time. And Lizzie, actually, she's a very serious actress. She had gone to Russia and studied theater, so it turned out that she was perfect, and it ended up being very easy.
I want to open it up.